So the way you're speaking, Damian, I'm not sure if I'm interpreting you correctly. The way you're speaking is that you think it's a manageable situation, that one just moves a few things around and changes policies to cope with all of this. You don't see this as having a broader long-term impact on global financial infrastructure?
Well, I don't think with regard to the Russian equity market or market itself, it's not a large market. But again, the flow-on impacts with regard to energy prices and inflation are a much larger impact on what happens with the performance of markets at the moment. And we're seeing that with increased volatility. We're certainly seeing that with weaker markets more broadly. Currency markets have been volatile. The Australian dollar has been a strong performer, which is not unusual in stronger commodity cycles, but it's certainly having a broader impact on returns for investors.
I guess what I was thinking more in terms of, Damian, was the broader picture of how we are beginning to trade, the pullback from the globalization that's dominated much of the past 20 or 30 years, a different set of trading priorities and partnerships, and possibility the movement of the global financial community away from reliance completely on the dollar into other systems.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I wouldn't overplay that issue. Again, that's just my view, that I think that, yes, there has been some reduction in the amount of globalisation, I think with what happened through COVID. Certainly we've seen a number of different companies and investors think about the resilience of supply chains and those sort of issues. But I still believe that the solid currencies, the larger currency blocks are likely to be the way that people trade going forward as well. So the US dollar and obviously the euro, the yen, etc. So I think these large currency blocks will remain. But there has been some moderation or modification of how people think about the supply chain and the resilience of supply chains. So I think in energy markets, that's certainly going to be relevant. And what happens with Russia, we know how important Russia is to the global energy supply market. So I think that has the potential to have an impact, but I wouldn't suggest it breaks it down fully, or to the degree I guess you may be asking about.